Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a recap of January. I know I'm a bit late, but better late than never. So I'm going to go through some of the highs and lows of the month in terms of cycling and training. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so at the start of January, I'd just come back from holiday and I weighed 76.4 kilos, which I was really happy with at the time. My goal for just generally was 75 kilos, so I was getting closer to that. And then we just slowly chipped away at the weight all the way through the month, really. And now I'm sitting at 74.1 kilos. So I haven't actually raced at this weight yet. I need to update it on Zwift. But yeah, we're down to 74. To be honest, I'm not actively looking to lose weight at this point. My goal was 75. I've done that. I'm just going to keep eating and training and see what my body does. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's any difference between racing at 75 and 74 kilos on Zwift. I'm probably going to do another full day of eating as well at some point, probably next week, to update you on the diet, because if you didn't watch last time I did a full day of eating, I was quite badly under eating. So yeah, we've improved on that. So hopefully you find that interesting. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some basic stats for you. In the month of January, I managed to do 1,040 kilometers of riding. Not many of that was outdoors. I only did one outdoor ride, but that's a good 10% of my yearly goal ticked off, and we're only 1 month in, which is good. So I spent a total of 33 hours in the saddle. I don't think that's too crazy. I mean, how much do you guys spend time-wise in the saddle? Even though I've done the Tron, I still managed to do 10,000 or 9,882 meters of elevation, which is a good 20% ticked off. So if you really wanted to, you could get that done in 5 months. So in terms of the types of rides that I did, I generally do zone 2 or racing. I don't really do much in between. So in terms of zone 2, I did 9 dedicated zone 2 rides, which equated to 10 hours worth of zone 2, which I think is pretty good. That's about a third of my total time is spent in zone 2. Maybe this should be like half, I'm not too sure. Let me know down below. But then the other 23 hours was made up of racing and 1 outdoor ride. So in total, we did 17 races. I'm pretty sure all of them were in Cat B. So yeah, that's not too bad. I feel like 17 races in a month, 1 every 2 days. Can't really complain about that. So I don't know if I'm the only one that looks at the Strava fitness and fatigue chart, but I maxed my fitness out at 55. Now, I don't know what that number means. I think it's all relative to you, but my fatigue got up to 80 at the start of January, and it's sort of been coming down ever since. Maybe I've been taking my foot off the gas a little bit, and my body's sort of getting a bit more rest. I don't know. But yeah, according to Strava, apparently my form is going to go downhill from here, so that's not ideal. So before we get into the highlights for this month's racing, I'm just going to set some goals for February. I'd love a top 10 finish, another top 10 finish. I've already got one this month, which is nice. I'd like a few more top 10s in Cat B races. That would be awesome. And I also want to do a couple more outdoor rides because I need to get my bike handling skills up to scratch. If you want to see that, then I'm funding a GoPro on Buy Me a Coffee, which is linked down below. Thank you to Stephen, who has already donated to that. So in terms of highlights, I think we'll go chronologically. The team time trial at the very start of January was a highlight for me. I really didn't think I was going to hold on to the group. They were going super quick, but I managed to do 1 minute pulls. I put it on the screen. I managed to do 1 minute pulls and hold on till the end, which was a big win for me. You've got to take the wins where you can. A second highlight would be the Beaconsfield crit. I made a video about this, but I used it as like an interval session, and yeah, I had my best 20-minute power, which was 3.8 watts per kilo, which was pretty cool.
Here's the final push. We managed to get a whopping 690 watts, almost 700. We managed to hit a power PB, which is exactly why I think this is the best way to do this workout.
That start was ridiculous. So that was a nice result. And I also had a race not too long ago, I think it was this week, which was against some really big hitters in Category B, and I managed to get 4th, which is pretty sick. So yeah, I'll put some highlights on the screen of that.
Okay, so at this point I'm catching a breakaway. I've got Eric in the chat telling me not to, but I went for it anyway.
Because it's 3 teammates, I guess they're kind of setting the pace. Elite amateur. Jesus. I didn't know you could have an elite amateur.
At this point, the group is getting a bit feisty. Some heavy hitters are trying to go early. So yeah, I'm basically just trying to reserve as much energy for the final sprint as possible. But yeah, trying to keep control here.
Oh no. And then my last highlight, as the dog comes in, my last highlight for the month would probably be the outdoor ride. I was just happy to tick that one off. I managed to get a few KOMs. I'll put them on the screen. I managed to pick up a few KOMs. I wasn't going particularly hard because it was pretty treacherous weather, to be honest. Like the road was greasy and stuff. So just having this new low weight kind of helped me get up the hills a lot easier, I suppose. Okay, so as I was editing this, I forgot that at the start of the video I mentioned lowlights. So there isn't many because this is a hobby and I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. But yeah, it definitely sucks to get dropped in the fast is flat? That was all the wrong words. Fast is flat. Yeah, turns out when you lose weight, it gets pretty hard to keep up with the big boys. So yeah, I mean, it was good fun. I definitely learned my lesson there. But yeah, just need to increase that power to keep up with those stronger guys. And also, it's also just difficult moving up to category B because obviously your expectations go from holding the front group, leading C races like I was in ZRL, to getting dropped. So that kind of sucks, but you got to get over that if you want to improve. So yeah, that was probably the low light, but as I say, not the end of the world. It's to be expected. And I also forgot to mention one of the highlights. So we've gone highlights, lowlights, highlight. I managed to hit a 15-second power PB of 12.1 watts per kilo, I think. So I'll put that on the screen. That was a pretty beefy sprint. I mean, it wasn't exactly in a race. I mean, I was kind of dawdling around, but again, a PB is a PB, so I'll put it in here for the month's recap. I definitely need to work on the sprinting technique. I'm not ever in the right gear. I'm spinning out, and yeah, maybe I could do a 1v1 with a 1v1, a 1-to-1 with Scott. He can sort of teach me how to sprint. So if you're watching this, Scott, hit me up for a sprinting lesson. So I'm not really too sure what else to include in this video. I've talked about my weight, I've talked about my progress. I think my FTP has roughly stayed the same in watts, and then in watts per kilogram it's maybe moved a little bit. But yeah, I'm not really too sure what else to include in the video. So if there's anything else you'd like to see, then let me know and I'll include it in the next one I do. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it, and a big thumbs up on the video would help. It lets me know that I'm, doing something of value. So thank you for that. And if you haven't seen my latest live stream, I'm going to link it up there. So check that out. If you're interested in catching me live, I'm live usually on Tuesdays for sure, which I'll be live streaming the ZRL Team Time Trial this week. So check that out at 6:30. I'll put a link in the description.